one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's Falcons. Let's get you over to the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
Larry, we are just off of Centennial Olympic Park Drive at the home of the Falcons since 1992. It's the Georgia Dome here in downtown Atlanta. Up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Baltimore Ravens and the Atlanta Falcons. They come up in an offset eye. Now a carry here for Terrence West. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A huge play there right off the bat. And even 40 yards. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They look to throw on 1st and 10 with Flacco. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. So, Charles, early December, the Falcons signed offer to a 4-year, $38 million extension, and they got a pretty good early return on their investment in the Super Bowl, didn't they?
They got a massive return on investment. Look, the 82-yard interception return for a touchdown, that's going to be the signature play. But he made a bunch of other plays in the game as well. I think his tackles approach double digits. I think his pass breakups were somewhere around 5 or 6 for the game. He had that interception we talked about, had a fumble recovery. He was all over the place, and he dealt with the extra pressure because his running mate, Desmond Trufant, got hurt midway through the season, so he had to cover people a little bit tighter.
3rd down and 4. Third down, Flacco from the gun. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
One of the best routes, one of the favorite routes of any play caller. He just ran that one. Nice little angle route. That's supposed to be a catch, and usually it is in running back drop.
Yeah, I mean, he's a running back, but he's got hands. He should have caught it. So it's our visitors who make the first dent in the scoreboard as they get 3 here on the initial drive of the ball game.
Yeah, it's hard to say who actually won that opening drive. On the one hand, anytime you can come in as a road team and get an early lead, you're going to be thrilled. But at the same time, to have the ball as deep in enemy territory as they did and come away with only 3, that's got to be a little bit of a disappointment.
They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. 11 carries, 7 the game against New England. But remember, a lot of those came on the first carry. He had a good 2nd carry, but then they didn't use him a lot late.
Yeah, I saw them getting to the perimeter early. You see how they stretched out New England's big defensive line? And then as they substitute, they started trying to go back inside. But a lot of people think maybe they didn't run the ball enough in the Super Bowl and maybe even eat some clock, especially with the lead that they had. But they also were able to use Devontae Freeman in the passing game. Remember late of 28-20, faked it to him inside, then threw it to the flat, and he got a big play that way as well.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And no room that time, getting it to about the 46. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. Here's the offense, and we talk about the tight end, Jacob Tamme.
A lot of people thought of him as simply a safety valve receiver. He can be a primary receiver. Jacob Tamme shows better athleticism than what people expect.
He completes it to Julio Jones. What an amazing season it was for Julio Jones, a Super Bowl Maybe the best catch we've seen all year, that toe tap on the sideline. He finished with 87 yards, but something you told me is astounding. 4 catches in that game, only 4 targets, too.
Yeah, and if you watch the game unfold, which I know you did, how many times did you see on the replays the number of white shirts of the New England Patriots in the vicinity of Julio Jones? He'd run a route, 2 to 3 guys in his area every time. That's the reason the targets were so low. But he maximized them, didn't he? 4 targets, 4 catches. And that sideline catch, I thought it was going to be intercepted. And he ended up having the concentration to hold on to it and still get both feet down.
And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. And here are the Raven defensive starters.
Jimmy Smith looks like the corners that you want coming into the league now. Long, ability to play the football in the air, terrific cover guy.
It'll only be a gain of a yard, and it sets up a 3rd down and 4 now.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. 4th down. Here's Ryan. Oh, it's dropped. He couldn't hang on. That would have been a big interception. Instead, they'll have a chance to get 3. Charles, let me go a different direction for a second. You were at the Super Bowl, another one that you worked. How did the city of Houston do as a host?
They did a fantastic job, I thought. Let me give a little tip of my Stetson to the host city because they were wonderful. And they like to say howdy down there when you're a visitor. But they said howdy, and they took care of people very, very well. I heard nothing but positives, the way that it was all set up for the fans. I think everybody had a great time. How about the drones? The drones have gotten involved in our stuff in a big way, and how they were buzzing around and showing different things and giving a great look of the Super Bowl and what was going on in Houston during the surrounding time.
And the halftime show was a good one. A lot of people were abuzz about that afterwards.
Plenty. I mean, watching that happen, seeing all the whites, seeing the spectacular reaction of the fans to it, I think that everyone got their money's worth on that.
By the way, do you own a Stetson?
I do. I actually do.
You do?
I actually do. I have one in my closet.
And cowboy boots?
I actually have cowboy boots as well.
Wow, who knew?
How about that?
The ground game, no doubt, that was an issue for Baltimore this year, finishing 28th. Now, West, he was their leader, but only 774 yards.
Can you believe you just said that? The ground game was an issue for Baltimore? Yeah. Because that's what they're based on. I mean, that's who they are offensively. Being able to run the football, set that tone, set that physicality, and then throw the ball off of it. That wasn't Ravens football in 2016. I can't wait to see what they do next season. And will Terrence West be their lead running back?
On the ground, it's West again. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
2nd down and a little ways to go here. Second down, Flacco now. He's got it to West on the dump off. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker. And fit's the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
7 yards to go on second down. In motion left is Perriman. And again, it's Flacco to throw. And he finds a man with a crossing route. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it now. The confidence is starting to rise. I think now's a play caller. Because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
Six yards to go here on second down. They'll run again here with West. And a short gain here. And now a timeout defensively by the Falcons. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. This will be play number 9 of the drive here as they need 4 yards on third down. Flacco from the gun. A bullet throw, but incomplete.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
And Tucker's kick right there. It's good. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. And that field goal caps an 11-play drive.
That's a lot of offense to run to only get 3 points, but they'll take them. Anytime you can put anything on the board, you run to your sideline somewhat happy.
And now the possession will switch over to the Atlanta Falcons. And this offense so good for 3 quarters of the Super Bowl, Charles. At one point, the advanced metrics had them at a 99.5% chance to win. It just seemed like everything was going their way, and then the fourth quarter happened.
I think when we review this game, and we say, okay, where did it get away from the Falcons? What was the number of plays the Patriots ended up running for the game?
93.
And the Falcons ran 46. So they wore down their defense on that one. But look at what they did on offense. They were averaging big-time yardage, running it, passing it, had everything going their way. A 25-point lead should still be enough to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, almost 6 yards per rush, almost 9 yards per pass for the Falcons. And they're going to speed things up here. Ryan. It's hauled in by Hardy. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Here's Ryan. Caught out left side by Robinson. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. And this time they go underneath for a simple pitch and catch.
And not only do you get the pitch and catch, Brandon, but you're able to keep the receiver moving when you hit him with the drag route.
Again, Ryan. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Now it's Ryan. And this is Gabriel on the catch. And he's going to be out of bounds down inside the 20. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Here's Ryan to throw. Complete over the middle to Hardy. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll make it second and a foot or so. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up. On second down, Freeman. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. From the shotgun, Ryan. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down.
And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. Final, and he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Julio Jones in the final seconds of the first half. And the Falcons are an extra point away from moving out in front. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. Moore now on the return. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
Now Ryan on second down. Caught on the right side by Jones. 15 yards through the air on a first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front. Defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Now it's Ryan. Complete to Jones. A good pick up there of 20 yards. And when these two are clicking, Ryan and Jones, and we've seen multiple hookups here in this one, usually their offense is clicking, and that's why they're winning.
Yeah, they tend to follow what those two do. They set the tone for either a good day or maybe a tougher day. And right now, we're seeing an excellent game because those two are finding each other. Doesn't matter where on the field, they're making plays.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Ryan. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. 10th carry for Freeman. And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Ryan turns and gives to DeMarco, and he is going to lose yardage here. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. From the gun on 3rd down, Ryan. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Taylor Gabriel, a 16-yard touchdown. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And he's able to put it through. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. Partner, while we have a second, I live in Atlanta. They're talking about one thing, the play calling at the end of the game. Should Atlanta have run the football more? What did you take away?
And I do believe you're talking about Atlanta up 28-20. 1st and 10 on the 22-yard line of New England after that nice drive from deep in their own territory. I thought run the football there. 3 points was paramount. Run the football, eat up some clock. Don't snap the ball too late in the play clock. Run it and have Matt Bryant come out and kick a field goal and put them up 11 at that point. At least that's the attempt. Instead, they try and throw the football, ran themselves into some problems, had to punt it away, and here comes Tom Brady and the Patriots, and they tied the game up.
And here come the armchair quarterbacks. Flacco looks to throw, being chased out left. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds.
And I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule, where the offensive player fumbles the ball, it goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just because you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not their friend.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well.
The open man is Smith. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. Give him 14 on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. And the offense lining up 1st and 10. First and 10, and Flacco looking to throw. Smith catches left side. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. And quickly, they get to the line.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
Throwing here on first down. Flacco over the middle to Smith. A gain of 6 there on first. Back now in Atlanta. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the 4th. So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down. Taking the man in motion. They go pass again with Flacco. He's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, how tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
They come up in an offset eye. And the wideout in motion. They'll try to pound it in with West. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
3rd and goal. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Dennis Pitta from 3 yards out. And now the Ravens, they're just a 2-point conversion away from tying this up.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had 2 previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. Set to go now with the kickoff. These 2 teams all even again as we continue in this wild 4th quarter. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about
Devontae Freeman. They're not going to get him. Touchdown, Falcons. Devontae Freeman, 75 yards. And the Falcons have broken our tie. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And the Ravens taking the field. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, give up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now a play fake here on 1st down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. A good pickup there, a 22.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
They go play action here on first down. Got a man, it's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Brashad Perriman, 30 yards. And the Ravens are an extra point away from tying the football game. And they have taken the lead here in this fourth quarter. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And here now come the Falcons. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. 4 yards remaining now on second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. An extra defensive back in the game now here for 3rd and 4. Now it's Ryan. And this is Gabriel on the catch. A gain of 11 and a first down.
But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that could be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for them, too.
Hitting the home stretch here in a great game, a tie game. Let's see if the defense can get the stop they need to get the ball back. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. On second down, here's Ryan. Caught on the right side by Jones. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Really nice little connection there. They go with the corner route, and it works out well.
And the best way to set up the corner route is to throw slants throughout the ball game so that when you're able to get back outside, the defender has to respect the inside game.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down. You're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. And they're going to hurry back to the line now. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get the... And now the Raven defense going to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Here's Ryan. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he cuts it back right. And that's a touchdown as they've broken our tie here in the final minute of the 4th.
Well, any thoughts about overtime have ended at this juncture. That touchdown puts them up 6. I would imagine they'll kick the extra point now and rely on their defense.
Yeah, rely on their defense. So a little bit of time left on the clock here in the 4th, but they got to feel good now. Now after the touchdown, it's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. They're down here in a one-score game. At the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times.
And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got the stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off. And, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
So while the offense has had a big day, no one on that side of the ball is excited about seeing a loss like that. Their goal, to make every play positive. And when you have a bad one like that, your next goal is to not let it spiral into more.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Now Freeman, he's been busy today. And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. And Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Falcons here as we say so long from Atlanta.